Hello and welcome to a Build With Baer Workshop. That's right, it's a live stream where I'm going to build a model kit and hang out with you. I'm throwing the bear cave, the leg of the site, the emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, throw those emotes in and let me know that you're here. A big shout out to Harold who is hosting the stream. Appreciate that, my friend. Always happy to see that. I hope you're all doing well here on this fine Monday evening. Jam is here. Welcome, Jam. Happy to have you here. Working on the Astaroth Gundam. We worked on basically the top half here, and then Lashbrook is here. Hi, Lashbrook. Then we're going to do the bottom half and the weapons. Hello, Lord Crashington. Hey to you. Now, you might be looking at this kit and go, hey, this looks like it's a mismatch of parts, and that's canon. This is basically like kit bashing, but it's in the manga. So it's manga canon. This is basically the long and short of Iron Blooded Orphans is there was a big war, and there are only so many surviving, I should say, Gundams from that era. And this Gundam frame is one of them, the Astaroth Gundam. Aristophan is here. Hi, Aristophan. And so, but the actual armor, they're like taking parts from another kit and like, not kit, mobile suit. So it's basically a kit bash, but it's the real thing, which I like a lot. I'm very excited about that. Also, while we wait for more people to join us before we get to the building, this is a brand new old shirt. So this is Old Games, which is one of my favorite logos, designed as like a banner, like a category on Giant Bomb, and they put it on a T-shirt. And I've had the previous version of the shirt I had for a very long time, to the point where there were rips and tears in it because I'd worn a lot, and in the wash it got kind of crackly, and I decided to just buy a new version of it. Instead of buying new merch, I was going to buy old merch that I like because I really dig this shirt. Also, it is a Giant Bomb shirt that you could wear in an airport because it's hard to wear a lot of Giant Bomb merch in that environment. Not that I'm flying, but I will get on a plane again. And yeah, just like stuff that says bomb on it, maybe you don't want to wear that to an airport. You get what I'm saying. In the same way that I have shirts that have like profanity on it, and like now as a 40-year-old person, I'm not wearing shirts like that out. I keep those for like hanging out. Again, not that I'm leaving my house that often, but I do on occasion. And let's be real about this. I tweeted about this, and this is a true thing. I forgot that I had also hard to wear in an airport, the H-Bomb and Friends shirt. Yes, H-Bomb and Friends, indeed, Harold. You branded yourself H-Bomb, and that is a little tough. Q Cube just subscribed with Prime. That's 4 months, currently on a 4-month streak. Thank you so much. Throwing the applause in there. Thank you for the notification. Thank you for continuing subscription for 4 months, Q Cubed. Happy to have you here. Welcome. I tweeted about this because we're in the pre-show hangout here before we get to building, waiting for people to kind of come by and hang out. The intro portion, one might say that. Here's the thing I want to tell you. The McRib is back starting on Wednesday. Participating locations will have the McRib again. And I found out through a notification system that the McDonald's in Brooklyn, where I used to live, walking distance from my apartment, so close to where I used to live, they got that McRib. That McRib is there, and they are selling it to people that want to buy it. And that's not me because I don't live there anymore. Now, are there McDonald's in my area? Kind of. They're a drive. They're a destination, not just like, let's just get this. Because I'm here in the South, and there are clearly the McDonald's and Burger Kings and Wendy's, all sorts of things like that. But there's also like Waffle Houses and like Bojangles. There are a lot of Bojangles in this area. So, we don't see McDonald's. I haven't had McDonald's since I came down here, which means I haven't had McDonald's since July, because literally like the first week in July, when I was in between apartments, I got McDonald's. So that's the last time I had it. You never had McRib. Epic Home World, first off, hi, Epic Home World. Happy to have you here. Second of all, you know, I can understand why you haven't had one because they come in bits and spurts. Some people don't eat fast food. Some people don't eat McDonald's. And some people just never got it when it was back. Similarly, I have a Vinco shirt I don't really wear anymore because the screen printing has started to crack and it seems GB no longer sells the black and yellow version of that shirt. I understand. Lastberg says, same. McDonald's is the only place I go for breakfast stuff. It's a last tier place I'd go to. I understand. So I will let you know that the dollar menu has not existed for the length of McDonald's. The dollar menu, in comparison to other things at McDonald's, is relatively new. It came out in the I want to say late 90s, early 2000s. I want to say late 90s, maybe early 2000s. It was a big deal because the McChicken was $1. I think it was a 6-piece nuggets was $1. Now I think it's a 4-piece, but the 6-piece nuggets was like $1. They had a lot of things on the dollar menu. And one thing they had was the McRib Jr. So it wasn't the full long McRib, which is the same kind of bun that you would find at like the chicken sandwich at Burger King, that long bun. It was just a regular bun you would have for burgers. So it was a smaller circular instead of like cylindrical in a cylinder. I don't know. McRib, and that was only $1. And I ate a whole lot of McRib Juniors. I ate an absolute ton of McRib Juniors. They were so good, and I ate them so much because I worked in a mall. And so I would get McDonald's, and I would get Panda Express, and that was the only thing I ate at the mall. Occasionally, I would get like tempura or something, but I was predominantly getting McDonald's off the dollar menu, or getting 2 meats and rice at Panda Express. Jam says I ate a whole lot of Wendy's before they started using sweet bacon. Yes, they changed their bacon. The Baconator is still good, but it's not as good as it used to be. I don't enjoy McDonald's. I enjoy Wendy's for fast food, says Epic Home World. And I understand. I have, not always, but I have pretty much often lived near a McDonald's. In my New York time, New York has a lot of McDonald's, and I lived near quite a few. Also, when I wasn't living near McDonald's, when I worked on 26th Street and 8th Avenue, there's a McDonald's right there on 8th Avenue between 26 and 27. And that was a lot of like, I don't have a lot of time. I'm just going to get McDonald's. Sorry about that. I would definitely consider Subway a fast food. Yes, Subway is definitely fast. They are quick service. So I would consider them fast food. Yes, certainly. I've definitely eaten some in my time. We got a Zaxby's. I don't know if I've ever eaten at a Zaxby's. I've probably eaten at Zaxby's at like an airport, which is not a good indication of fast food. Airport fast food is a little different. So I don't think I've ever eaten Zaxby's. Although I will say, the Bojangles in the Charlotte airport is a good Bojangles. I've never had a bad Bojangles experience at an airport. I've had bad McDonald's at an airport, and I've had a bad Wendy's experience at an airport. But I've never had bad Bojangles at an airport. Also, just so we're clear, Bojangles is just it's just a good name. Bojangles. It's just fun to say. Like, you can just take that to the bank if you want. I went to a Subway last week near the end of the day, and they were out of lettuce. Yeah. I originally was like, "Are you talking about bread?" No, Lord Christ. Yeah, they were out of lettuce. They ran out of bags of lettuce. Pre-diced before it got there. All right, I'm retweeting my tweet. Try to get some buzz about this. Let's get into building. Zaxby's is pretty good, Harold says. Okay, yeah, that's just not a place that I have been to. Here's the Astaroth Gundam. So we got that going, and we're ready to build this more. I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit here. What's here? So we got our top here. As you can see, the arms are different, but they blend well together. It's like a good kit bash. Luckily, I had some shredded lettuce, so no biggie. I hear you, Lord Gretchen. Sometimes you just want lettuce in a salad. We're going to work on the legs. Even though we started in the chest, we went to the head, then the arms. Now we're going to start the feet, but we're going to start building the feet, which are identical, so we can build them at the same time, which is helpful. So we'll put this aside as we continue. We'll just put that right there so you can see it as we go. But yeah, I mean, I haven't So I haven't really had fast food. I've had takeout. I've had uh, Chinese food a few times. We had pizza, but yeah, I haven't had fast food since I got down here. There wasn't any fast food open at the airport when I flew down. So yeah, the last fast food I had was the in between my apartments. I got McDonald's because it was a couple nights, and like I had some leftover food because I was going from my fridge to the fridge of the Airbnb I stayed at. So it was pretty easy to just take a few pieces of food that I hadn't thrown away with me. So I made like one meal, and then I just went to a grocery store to get a few things, and then I ended up going to my local McDonald's. I got Chinese food at my Chinese place one last time, um, and got pizza one last time. So I kind of like went to my locals. Also wanted to have New York pizza. Although, as I've said, the place there are a couple good places down here, and we've eaten at one of them. Now, to be fair, the gentleman who owns this pizza place is uh, a New York resident, or sorry, he's a Connecticut resident who moved down here and opened up a pizza place, which rules, absolutely rules. Uh, all right, so this is going to lock in like this. But yeah, he does a good job. I will say it is pretty damn excellent pizza, and I've been very fortunate to be able to have excellent pizza while I've been down here because I would miss it. I would miss it so much if I didn't have good pizza. Okay, so these gonna go like that. That. Okay, working on our legs here. So get C out. But yeah, I do kind of miss fast food now and again. It's comfort food. It is what it is. The Taco Bell was running ads during the football games that my dad has been watching. So I pop in, say what's up, see what's going on, and notice the games. Something about like there's like a chalupa box now that's like limited time, and it's just like some chalupas. And I was like, ooh, I could eat those. And Taco Bell's not even like top tier for me. Taco Bell's like fine or whatever, and especially since they got rid of some of the items that I enjoy there, some of the ingredients anyway. But yeah, I definitely was like, oh, I could destroy some Taco Bell tacos. Dang. Uh, but I'm not gonna. Am I gonna look up in Uber Eats, or possibly, any other service thing? Am I going to find out how much it would cost me to get a McRib delivered to this house? Probably not. I'm probably not going to investigate that. If I happen to be driving somewhere and happen to see a McDonald's starting on Wednesday, will I say, hey, can I just go in and see if they got McRibs in there? I might do that, depending. It depends on if they're like McDonald's should be adhering. This area should be adhering, even if some businesses are pretty lax in their mask policy and social distancing policies. But if they are, yeah, I mean, I might try to get me a McRib if that comes up, but I'm not gonna get one delivered. I don't think. Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. Yeah, it's just an odd thing. I don't drive these days, and I don't. I mean, I leave the house, I do stuff, but I don't. We're just not getting fast food. It's just not a thing. Um, there is a website that tracks the McRib. Yes, the McRib locator or something like that. I believe. Yes. Yes. Them paring down their menu. This is Lashbrook talking about Taco Bell. Really got rid of everything I liked about Taco Bell. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. They definitely got rid of a lot of stuff. I mean, a chalupa is great, but they definitely got rid of a few things, and certainly people that liked to make their own uh, kind of menu items, especially our vegan and vegetarian friends, were able to like construct some Taco Bell monstrosities that would allow them to eat and not just have to get like you know just like a cheese taco or a bean taco, but I'd be able to like make some other things, especially with the potatoes. But they don't get that anymore, and it's a shame. Yeah, there is a McDonald's tracker, so you can go out there and check that out if that's something you like to do. The McRib. Um, but this does seem like this is going to be a countrywide event. This does seem like they're going to kind of go out of their way to make sure that they've got it at places. And there's some sort of terrible promotional thing they're doing where if you like have proof that you shaved, they'll have Uber Eats deliver you a McRib. And I was like, well, like basically they're like shave your. They're not saying shave your quarantine beard and we'll send you a McRib. I didn't read the fine print on it. I'm just like, well, I'll either hear about that on Munch Squad, or not. But I don't feel like learning more about this. This feels bad. And so I didn't investigate further. All right, we got stickers to put on here. We got to put stickers on our feet. Our feet need stickers, so let's put stickers on there. So I had some Buffalo Wild Wings, says Epic Open World, and they got their street tacos appetizer. I now want to just eat their street tacos. Heck yeah, Epic Open World. That is the pro move. The pro move is to eat the thing, to find something that a place is not famous for and make that the thing you get there. So if you go to a place that has wings in the title and you don't get the wings, that's a pro move. I respect that and appreciate that. Like if you only get the chicken fries or the chicken tenders at Burger King, whose half their name is Burger, and you don't get burgers there, like me, I feel like that. I mean, obviously, I'm saying my own move is a pro move, but I feel like that's the way to go. I like that choice of being like, you know what? Oh, Buffalo Wild Wings, I get the street tacos there. I don't mess around with the wings. Uh, yeah, I think that's the way to go. Like if you go to Wendy's, who Wendy's also is just like, hey, we're very good at burgers. And you're like, cool. I only get chili from Wendy's. And they're like, oh. Well, we also do sell chili, which we agree is weird, but like, sure, have some chili. And you're like, yep, that's all I get here. I do think that Wendy's, like, if I'm gonna be at a Wendy's, I'm probably gonna get a Baconator because like that's just like a lot of cheese, a lot of bacon, a lot of beef, and a lot of mayonnaise, and that's just all things I want on a burger. Hooters used to have pretty good pasta salad. Hooters had pretty good fried pickles. The only there's one Hooters in New York City, and I went there a couple times for to watch college basketball with friends, and I ate a whole lot of frickles, uh, and that was fine. We were there for a very long time, and I don't care about college basketball, but I do care about hanging out with my friends, and I was happy to get the invite to go hang out and watch basketball. And then, Epic Open World, as far as I know, they are. Now, obviously, they're, I'm sure they're delivering right now and trying to, get things done. But yeah, there are Hooters. Um, there was only one in New York, and it was weird to be there. When I went, it was very fun because we watched basketball, and then this is how long ago this was. We went to go see the movie I Love You Man because our friend was in it. Uh, our friend Sarah was in the movie. She's one of the bridesmaids. Uh, and so we went to go see that movie because we were like, we want to go support our friend. And I was like, the thing about I Love You Man, which is fun, is that it is a bromance movie, and that is but in this case, it is very true. It's a guy who doesn't have male friends, and so he's going to find himself a male friend to be his best man. And it is a lovely friendship story, and I think it's very fun. Also, the band Rush is in it, and that's just cool, and I was psyched about that. Just like hell yeah. That's a pretty okay movie. I mean, I have only seen it once. I never saw it again. I only saw it once in theaters. And as I said, my friend Sarah is in it, so I am biased, but she didn't have a big part in it. I was mostly just happy to see her. She was also a bridesmaid in the movie Bridesmaids. She's one of the. She's just like in the background. She's not an important character in that movie, but she's very fun. She doesn't have as much to do as like Ellie or other people in the movie, but she's in there. Sarah is also, if you watched a lot of Drunk History, Sarah is in the background of a lot of episodes of Drunk History, or occasionally has lines in it, because she has this look that feels very much like she is classic Hollywood. Sarah Burns, and so she's in the background of a. She was like a day player in Drunk History, where sometimes she would be a character that had lines, and other times she was just in the background, just like an astonished woman in a courthouse, like that kind of thing. Uh, or like one of the nurses in the Revolutionary War or Civil War, like that kind of thing. Sarah rules. She's lovely. There, we'll put that there. Put that there. Uh, okay. What do I want to talk? There's some things I wanted to talk about. I can't remember what it was, but I did have things. Did I mostly talked about the kit, I think. On my like, hey, I'm building. I want to see if I said anything about things I want to talk. Because occasionally I like promote, like, oh, I want to talk about this. No, I was mostly talking about the kit. It looks like. Uh, oh yeah, the D&D one shot I did last night. That's what I want to talk about. That's what we can chat about here. I did a D&D one shot last night with some of my friends. It was a small little crew. We had our DM and four of us playing. Um, I played a half orc fighter who was an Echo Knight, and I'm not going to go super deep into Echo Knights or anything really about the game. One, it was just a delight to play. I had such a good time playing. We're done with the feet, so now we can move on to one of the legs while I talk about this. Haven't played D&D in a very long time. Haven't done much, um, uh, uh, like role playing in a while. So it was really fun to do that. I was a yeller because I was half orc, so it made a lot of noise. Had a lot of fun doing that, making a whole lot of noise, being a big brassy character. Um, it was a one shot. We were all level 3. Just so that we could have like some skills, but we didn't have to worry about too many skills. We could just focus on a few things that we wanted. Uh, so I was an Echo Knight, and what I'll tell you about Echo Knights is that their whole thing is they're fighters, and they make mirages or duplicates of themselves to fight along, and they basically have like the same tributes. It can get complicated, but the earliest stuff is basically just like it's like a clone of you that fights with you. And so I came up with the choice that I think is very fun and was very fun to do. Because like I was going to be a yelling character, but I didn't want to be mean. I wanted to like my party. Like I liked the people in my party. I wanted to have a fun time. So I didn't want to yell or whatever um, at them. But I did want to yell at my Echo. Because uh, my dude, Kanar Gold Punch. Kanar Gold Punch hates his Echo. He thinks his Echo is rude and not good at fighting. He thinks he's better. He's a better fighter than his Echo, and his Echo is just getting in the way. And then he also hates it when people confuse the two of them. They're like, "No, I'm over here. That's my Echo." He hates it. So I just got to yell at myself, basically, or I got to yell at an inanimate character that isn't really there, that no one could see, and that was very fun. Uh, our I won't do too much because it's like this was very important to us and very fun to us, but like I get this is a nonsense thing to everybody else. Um, our druid had the worst rolls I've ever seen in my life, and I've played some D&D and I've played some other tabletop stuff. Uh, she just could not roll to save our lives or her own life. Like everyone survived, but she was just having so much trouble. All her rolls are bad, and like eventually, so basically, Epic World, you're like summoning the Echo. So like I was saying that I was doing it. Basically, my character was doing it subconsciously. Was that I was channeling my Echo to fight with me, and I was doing it because I need to do it in the whole thing. I need to say I'm doing it and roll. and basically use it, have it. But I would act like my character would act like, uh, oh, what are you doing here? Come on, get out of here. What are you, what are you, why are you even here? I don't need you. No, no, I'm over here, guys. What are you talking about? Come on. Just like, just so annoyed. Just like, this guy again. What are you even doing here? How'd you find me? And just like real nonsense stuff. It was very fun. It would get old over a long period of time, but this was a one shot, and I often take one shots as an opportunity to try out nonsense. Anyway, so our druid was just having terrible rolls. She was just having a bad time, and even our DM was doing a very good job of like not punishing her for how bad her rolls were, like just trying her best, her best to be like, okay, well, let's say that this happens, and okay, well, we'll do this, and like just like clearly, earnestly attempting to like not punish our druid for how bad her rolls were, which was very sweet and maybe a little condescending, but mostly it was sweet and fun. And anyway, so uh, Pat takes one shots as an opportunity to be annoying. So like Epic World, I take one shots. I know you're joking, but I take one shots as an opportunity to try things, including being annoying. But also like I don't. I usually play mage classes, so I played a fighter, and that's weird for me. I don't often play a fighter. I my most prevalent is I play a bard. So I have, but I've played the bard so much that I have run out of fun bard ideas. Like, have I done a improviser? Have I done a mime who talks out of battle, but once initiative has been rolled, the mime doesn't talk, but it was a half measure because I couldn't figure out how to do it. I've experimented and played around with a lot in the classes that I often play, but I hadn't done like a fighter in a very long time. Definitely not in 5th edition. I haven't played a fighter in 5th edition before. Anyway, so our druid was doing a really bad job, or just having bad rolls and bad luck. Not doing a bad job, just having bad rolls, just having a rough time of it. Anyway, uh, the basic thing was that a bunch of people were kidnapped, and the mayor of the town was like, hey, you're the only adventurers in town, and you're a party, and nobody knows you, so everybody here knows each other. So, like, uh, some people think you did it. You kidnapped all these folks. So if you want to, you got to figure out who did it, because otherwise we're just going to blame you. The people want to blame somebody. And so we kind of get roped into figuring out what happened. You may already jump to a conclusion that I didn't jump to at first, but one person in my party jumped to almost immediately, which was, I bet the mayor did it, because we hadn't really met a lot of characters. It was, spoiler, for a one shot you'll never hear anything about again. It was the mayor. The mayor did it. And so we're battling, and the mayor is stronger than us, and like we're having a rough time of it, and like one of us has a bit of a hard out, so we're like, we got to figure this out. Anyway, we're doing some stuff, and then an opportunity reveals itself, and we find out information that apparently this mayor, besides kidnapping people and framing us and trying to murder us, also is mean to animals, and like he fails a roll, and this is just in storyline. He fails a roll to have some animals attack us, and then he's just belittling them and berating them, and like and just being a shitty dude. And so our druid in the party, just gets really mad about that, like just like unbelievably pissed off that that this is happening. And because she is, in tune with nature, she goes, okay, I feel like because I am so mad right now, and because this is motivation, um, I should get some inspiration. And nobody has asked for inspiration at this point. So the DM, and also because she's had such bad rolls, he goes, okay, I'll add a few points to whatever you roll on this move you're gonna make here, your attack roll. And so she rolls like perfect. Uh, and so she morphs into her. Basically, she wants to morph into a wolf. And because she does so well with the inspiration, she becomes like a giant dire wolf and just bites the dude on the neck and kills him. And then we're all just like, hell yeah, and psyched about it. And it was this like lovely thing where like we had to kind of wrap up, and her rolls have been so bad, and to finally have like a perfect roll, um, and just like really nail it, and everyone was just so happy that we're just like, yeah, oh, you don't just become a wolf, you become a dire wolf. You become a big wolf, and you just bite that dude right in the neck, and and then he rolls and goes, yeah, he dies, he's just dead. And we're all like, hell yeah, we did it, we defeated the mayor. And it was a wolf attack. It was just great. It was such a fun time. Epic Open World says there might be a dumb question, but what happens when a player dies in D&D? I never played, only watched streams, and never seen a player. Okay, so um, you're gonna hope that you can roll well in death, because you when you die, you are in a state where you are basically clinging to life. You know, in video games where like you die but you're not dead, you have to like shoot somebody, and if you shoot somebody, you can come back. Um, hey, Bobby Dice Roller says, when anyone asks what happened to the mayor, you just say like, "Dang, I don't know, Wolf did it." You'd be like, "Yeah, man, Wolf showed up. Weird." Um, but yeah, basically, you're basically doing like a saving throw, where you're fighting for life and you're trying to roll to get out of it. Now you can be resurrected, you could be full healed, you can be brought out of that state by another player to use their action points if you have somebody a healer skilled enough to pull that off. But basically, you're just like in a state of clinging to life, and then you can fully die from that. You can fully like not recover. It is possible. Um, Generally, in a one shot, it's fine to have somebody die. But if you're playing a long campaign, and you're like in the middle of a long campaign, we're like, oh, we were going to do this for months. Like, sometimes it's just like, oh, that happened early and whatever. And some people are just going to like roll with it. And other times you're going to like find creative ways to get around it, because it does fucking suck to have your character just like no longer there. It is a big fucking bummer to have a character die that you've gotten attached to, and other people have gotten attached to. Like, the people you're playing with have also had a connection with this character. Uh, I have had. I was in a game and this was in high school, and I'll admit, no, none of us were doing a good job with this. But we did have somebody die, and then we were like, and we just couldn't save him, because he was our healer. So like nobody could like res or like restore anything. So he was just like rolling bad, and he just kept he just like died. He just straight up died, and we were like, "Oh, that sucks." And he was like, do I stop playing?" And we were like, "I don't know." And then our DM was just like, "Well, he's got a twin brother, right? Why, he'll be in the next town, I guess." And we were like, "Yes, he has a twin brother who is very much like him, who lives one town over, and will want to avenge his brother, I guess." And we were like, I don't know. Um, there is I was just watching a video today from Loading Ready Run, and they do a monthly Q&A video at Ask Lur, and they were like, said something about Cameron was talking about how a friend of his had a game where he had written all this information about like a port city, and spent all this time, and then his players immediately they went to the port city and then immediately got on a ship and left the port city to go to another place, and then the DM was just like, "Yes, and you traveled to another port city, and then just use that because it was like, I wrote all this stuff for this port city. This is going to be a major hub. Fuck this, we're just doing it, which I thought was very smart. I'm not sure how this connects, so I'm gonna figure this out here. Sorry, give me a second. I know this sticks out. This None of this looks right, and I don't know why. This often happens every once in a while when I'm playing or when I'm building something that I'm like not super familiar with, where I'm like, I don't know what you want from me, model kit. It'll be a lot easier on the second one. I feel like it would be worse feeling than if your most awesome squad members in XCOM dies. Yeah, I mean, like, it. You get connected to characters, right? And like, not everyone does. Some people are just like, hey, we haven't played in a couple weeks. What's my deal? What am I doing? What's going on? But some people take it like it's their character. They worked on it. It becomes an extension of themselves. Especially like people who are just starting to get into Dungeons and Dragons or any other role playing game. A long term storytelling RPG. Like, people get attached. Okay, so this clicks in. Sorry, y'all. I literally don't know how this. Okay, it goes like this. All right, it goes like that, I guess. Okay, this doesn't look like this is where it should be, but I guess that is where it should be. So we'll put it there, and I'll find out later if this is just wrong. This doesn't feel right, but I'll keep assembling, and we'll see. B24 and B19. Okay, we'll do that. And I gotta put a sticker on one of these. So, I'm assuming you play it online. What platforms do you use to play D&D? So yeah, so we played online. We played in Discord with Roll20, which is a good interface and works really well for this. I've used Roll20 certainly before for other things. I have also used it where some people had a webcam, like a second webcam, and that was like the board for games. We've done that. It's not as fun that way. Yeah, pen and paper stuff. Roll20, I also like the last game I played in person. We were also using Roll20 just like as a way to organize things. It depends on the one shots. When we played Fiasco, like we were just hanging out. We all had like iPads or a phone or a laptop out to kind of keep track of some things. And then we just had dice, physical dice, or used whatever. That is like a fine thing. I do recommend Roll20. I think that like there might be a few things out there that are better, but like for my money, it just works, and I like their interfaces, and I think that like they do a good job. I've also run games because we did Fiasco like games. I did, and also Lasers and Feelings style game, just in like Google Docs and webcams. Uh, and I played, I LARPed Vampire the Masquerade many, many years ago. Um, and it was certainly a modified version of the game at the time. It was second version, and they're on version 5, I believe, revision 5. So like it was a long time ago, and can't tell you if we did a good job with it, but I can tell you it was very fun. Uh, Lots of vampires, lots of very goth friendly teens. And I say goth friendly just because it was like we were just people that the goths tolerated and liked, so we were allowed to play. Also because they needed more people to hang out with them and play. But yeah, that was LARPing. That was my first LARP. It was fun, and I played a online game on AOL chat rooms. It was an AOL keyword, and they ran a chat room that was based in White Wolf, but was kind of its own thing, and that was a seedy southern town, gothic, but like gothic southern vampire thing, and that was very cool. I played that for a very long time. I was a host for that, so I like ran and took care of battles. There weren't a lot of battles in that because it was really just people wanting to role play. Um, Have you ever played the new card-based Fiasco? I never have. No, I've never had much luck with card games on Roll20. Curious if there's a better platform for that. I haven't played the card-based Fiasco. And yeah, I've heard that is a limiter a bit for that for Roll20. I've certainly heard that. You're not the first person to mention that. Did you LARP in the park? Epic Open World. We LARPed in a bar that was closed. They were closed one night a week, and one of the owners knew was like somebody's uncle or something, and so we LARPed on the night they were closed. We paid a membership fee, so we were members. There were a couple people that drank. There was no underage drinking because most of us were Vampire the Masquerade nerds. So I think there was probably like one or two people that were like breaking the rules, but most of us were like definitely, completely, and totally in fear of rule breaking. Did I fuck this up? Did I pull the wrong leg out? Is this the... Oop. I might have. The interior of this might be the wrong leg. Fuck. Because the hole is on the other side. Yeah. This is the wrong leg. God damn it. This is the wrong leg. I have to completely disassemble this and then replace it with this piece. That is a nightmare. Well, folks, now you get to watch me disassemble a kit completely. Disassemble a completed leg because I fucked up because this is still somewhat asymmetrical. Oh, God damn it. All right, so we're just going to take all these parts off. Nice and easy. Get all this, get us out, put this stuff aside. But yeah, we LARPed in a bar, and it was a great time. I had so much fun LARPing there and playing Vampire, and then running people, running out with into the back area for fights, so that we didn't disturb the people that were more interested in the LARP portion and not getting into battles and having a few people not being super clear on how fights worked and the battle system because that wasn't what they were there for. Did people drink red mixed drinks to simulate blood? No, nobody did that. I mean, there were a few people that were like drinking water and acting like they were drunk. I think that was the most. Oh, this is so annoying. I'm glad I have tools, but this is just an annoying thing that I did here, folks. I definitely like. This is somewhat asymmetrical, and I definitely like just mix this up. So I gotta completely disassemble this and figure out where I went wrong. Because 27, this is the right piece for this, which means that. Let me look this up. This. Yeah, because, oh yeah, that's 26. Did I not? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I messed this up, but I did. Alright, so we'll try to disassemble all of this so I can figure out what I did wrong here. And then we'll just slowly reassemble. It happens. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that. That was a good time. I'm really rusty on all of the components of how to make that work. But okay, so this goes. No, this is right. So this is the right. This goes this way, and the other leg is like this. Okay. I think I didn't do it wrong. I did this part wrong, so that's fun. Now I get to reassemble this completely. I thought I had messed something up, but I didn't mess something up. I messed something else up. So that's new. I haven't done that in a while. Good night, Harold. Thank you for being here. Thanks for the host. Have a good one. Speaking of Vampire the Masquerade, boy, I was excited that reboot game, and boy, has been nothing but a troubled development. Yeah! I mean, I don't pretend to know everything about it, so I don't pretend to be an expert in what's going on in that. but there has definitely been some issues. Um, and look, pen and paper stuff, TCGs, uh, a lot of this stuff is bad news. There's bad actors in a lot of these places. Um, it is unfortunately things that have existed for a long time and have a lot of people who decide what makes sense about it and what should be part of it. It is fucking rough. It is a lot of rough around the edges nonsense people have to deal with here. So hopefully things work out pretty good for it. I played Vampire like a long time ago, like the video game series, quite some time ago. It's been a hot minute since I delved into that world, uh, and so I was like casually interested. But I have people I know in my life who very much love Vampire, and so I'm hoping that things work out well for them. Speaking of which, there's a short series. I believe they're doing 4 episodes, and episode 0 aired today on Loading Ready Run. It'll be on their YouTube on Wednesday. It is a vampire campaign run by Jacob Burgess, who has written for Vampire, the books. Um, and I could not think of a better person to to be an introduction to that world. So if you are interested, if you have any interest at all in Vampire, the Masquerade, that might be worth checking out because I think he'll do a fantastic job. In fact, I know he will. And there's some very good people playing that. Uh, some people that I'm like, oh, Cameron Lauder playing Vampire. That just makes perfect sense. And then also like Adam Savadan playing. I'm just like, that doesn't make any sense at all. That's hilarious. Adam playing Vampire is a very fun choice. But yeah, that should be pretty great. Uh, that might be worth checking out. Yeah, they ran the episode. They pre-taped it all. They shot it all in a theater. They rented a theater because what are theaters doing right now? So they rented a theater so everyone could be in the same room, but also socially distant. And it's very fucking cool. It's a cool choice. Uh, I only watched a little bit of it because it airs. It was airing tonight, and I got to stream, so I got to like prep for that stuff. Got to make sure all my stuff's working. I occasionally like do things, then around like 8:45, I'm like, oh shit, I got to make sure all my stuff is on. It's a lot easier now for me to do that. And in this situation because my gear is just set up. Like my overhead camera is always here, my webcam is always on, everything's just plugged in. I just have to like drop my little light over and then make sure that things are looking good. So it is a lot easier than like previous things that I've done, previous setups, because I used to have a lot of setup for streams. Okay, so I wasted your time by having this thing that I thought was messed up not be messed up. But, it's been a little while since I had a big fuck up like that, and nothing broke. I'm just being extra cautious. We'll just leave it at that. Because, yeah, these legs they're similar, but they are different. Because that's the whole thing about this kit. It was like built out of what they could. So it's got a kind of like figure it out as we go feel, which I really enjoy. All right. So we finished, we reassembled the leg. Now we can work on the other leg, which I thought was messed up, but wasn't messed up, and that's fine. So now it's like that, and we can continue. Yeah, so my D&D campaign was fun. I miss it. I don't know if we're gonna get like a regular game going or anything. I mean, I would love it if we could. Doing a one shot was really fun. It was kind of, I would say it was like to gauge interest in like, do people miss doing this? And definitely we all did. I've talked about this before. We did most of my gaming lately of that, or the last thing was I had a group that did a lot of one shots with reoccurring characters. It was like a kind of loosely based on Mask, the TV show. so it was whoever was available, and it would be like, all right, we need these people, and like you could, and we had a bunch of DVMs, and it was whoever was available and wanted to like run a game, and it was really fun. GMs, I should say, we had a bunch of GMs. It was very fun. It was like Fiasco based and very light and easy to get people together, but eventually it did. Like there was a portion of people that wanted to play a longer game and not play this, and there were people that got busy, and there were folks that were like, I don't have good internet now, or I'm working from home and I can't, my hours are bad, and just yeah, it fell apart. But I would love to try to get it back together because it fucking ruled. Epic Open World says, "Oh Pat, I finished Yakuza. That game is great, and I enjoyed the fan service. Yeah." So I'm still liking it a lot. It is still one of my favorite games of the year, by far. I also have not played a ton of new games this year, so it didn't piss me off. I'll say that. But I think my number one issue with it is it's very clearly the devs' first, like, even though they love them, and there's an homage in many ways to like Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest, it is very clearly their first attempt at doing this kind of game, and I look forward to seeing them get better at it because I didn't necessarily love every minute of playing the game in combat. Um, I think Yakuza 8 is gonna kick ass if they decide to keep going in this direction. Um, but the world itself, I love. I love the characters. I had a great time playing it, and I'm not done with it. But it's definitely like a great experience. I'm really enjoying it. But I do think that like the combat needs like another pass, or like maybe bring in some specialists who like know that stuff inside and out. Um, because yeah, I think it is lacking a little bit. Um, but the world makes up for it very much. All right, we are almost done with stickers. The side skirts have stickers that are going to go on it, and then there's a sticker on here. Part of the mix match, the sticker is not on the other side because these are slightly different. These legs have a little bit, like one has a sticker on here on the front, and then this one's got a sticker there. So yeah, slight differences. We will take a pause for the cause in a moment or two. I'll talk about ways you can support the channel if that's something you'd like to do. You're more than welcome to. It is Cyber Monday still, so if you wanted to, I'll talk about a small business. Not that I don't consider myself a small business, because if I start calling myself a business, that opens up a whole other thing. But I am an entrepreneur, so if you want to support a very small, not really business, that's me. I'll talk about ways you can do that. Yes, that does have some issues with leveling. I hope they get another shot to do turn-based. Yeah, so like that is a thing. Like I'm doing a lot of side content, and there are times where I'm like, oh, am I under-leveled? I didn't realize I was under-leveled. Like, shit, okay. Oh, and I think that the more traditional games the Yakuza games, like they figured that out. They like figured out how to do it, and this one they were just struggling a little more than I was surprised. Uh, but yeah, I think it's fun. Um, yeah, I have played games that I played a couple games this year that like really disappointed me, and I was mad that I spent money on. Yakuza 7, certainly not that. Uh, I I definitely don't have 10 games in me for game of the year. Like I don't have 10 games that came out in 2020. Like I'm gonna have to. I'm like, oh, can I? Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't have 10 games in me. So if I do, because it'll be next year when they do it, if I end up being asked again, and I would love to, I'll always enjoy helping out and participating with Giant Bomb stuff. But if they ask me to do a guest list, a top 10 list, I'm gonna have to think outside the bun on this one. I'm gonna have to get weird with it because I don't have like, yeah, I would really like. There's a game like it's like, oh yeah, I played Doom Eternal. I'm not putting Doom Eternal. What did Doom Eternal come out this year? 2000. What am I gonna do? 2020 is a nightmare. Doom Eternal came out. Yeah, it came out this year. Doom Eternal's not going to be in my top 10 list, but it's a game I came out this year. It came out in 2020, and I played it, but I wouldn't fucking put it on my top 10 list. But do I have to because it's one of the 10 games I played this year? Like, nah, I'm not going to do that shit. Because, like, can I put Hearthstone on there? Especially after Hearthstone has, like, started being, like, not a fun game as much. So I'm like, oh, can I put that on there? Like, I don't know if I can put that on there. I've only played 3 Yakuza games, and I think overall 0 is still my favorite. Epic Open World. This is my 4th official Yakuza game. I also played Judgment, with the better title, Judge Eye. And I would say, depending on the day, I either like Yakuza or Judgment the best. Yeah, either 0 or Judgment. One of those two. I mean, 0 is fantastic. I fucking really love it. It is like a culmination of their works, basically, and I'm a big fan. But also, Judgment is pretty great. So I don't know. All right. We are done with legs. And that means it's time for a pause for the cause. Now, if you're new to the stream and you don't know what that means, hi, welcome. First and foremost, I'm going to throw the Bear Cave, the leg of the site, emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those. Subscribing to the channel is a great way to support what I do here. So if you are interested in subscribing, that would be fantastic. I would appreciate it very much. We've got plenty of folks here in the chat are currently subscribers. If they want to throw the emotes in the chat, that would be rad. You get emotes. You can use Cash Money to do this. You could also use your Prime Gaming token, because if you have Amazon Prime, you link that with your Twitch, use that token on someone. It doesn't have to be me, but it also could be me, and it would be great if it was me, because then I benefit from it. But that is a way to support what I do here, is to throw in basically a reoccurring tip. Like every month, you give me a couple bucks. Do you see ads, like pre-roll ads? No, you don't see pre-roll ads. Do you see, do you get cool emotes? Of course you do. Do you get access to VODs longer? Yes. It's just a way to support what I do. I would appreciate it very much if you're interested. Thank you for even considering it. You could also gift a sub. We've had a couple gifts this month. Aristophan gifted 2. Gary in Nature gifted 1. That's an awesome way to support what I do, because you give the gift of a subscription to the Bear Cave to somebody else, and they get cool emotes, and they get to hang out and not see pre-roll ads, which is nice. So that is a way to help out, and bits and coins are always great. I throw up, if I don't vomit, I put up the counter if we drop below 40. We're currently at 40 subscribers, which is rad. If you're new to the stream, you just joined us, I am doing my ads. I'm taking like me talking to you, like pause for the cause is what I call it, and then we'll get back to building very soon. But right now, still got to promote myself. It is important to promote. I also have a Patreon. Now, I'm not saying join my Patreon today. I'm saying if you haven't joined my Patreon, join my Patreon tomorrow at the start of a new month. Get your full month. Join me tomorrow. $1 tier, $3 tier, $5 tier, $10 tier. If $5 a month here on Twitch isn't to your liking, what about $1 or $3? There are rewards. You get different things. Check out the website, my page there, to see what's there. You get videos early. You can vote on kits that I build. You can vote on games I'm going to play. This coming Wednesday, I will be playing Twitch Sings. My next stream is this Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, my final foray into Twitch Sings. I will not return because it's closing in January. So we're going to say goodbye to Twitch Sings on Wednesday. It will be, I will have some things I want to sing, but I will be taking requests in the chat. There will be an exclamation point for that you can check to see the website that lists every song, and you can search for songs, and it will be all requests live this coming Wednesday. So that's the next stream. Will be that. But yeah, and then the next Wednesday, my patrons are going to vote on what I do that following Wednesday. So that is a thing that happens, and you can join in for there. Also, so everything I make on Patreon and Twitch goes into buying model kits. It all goes back right into purchasing kits. You could, if you wanted to, do a direct donation. Anything you donate there goes into buying model kits. These are the links you can go to if you just want to do one time to help me out, and I appreciate it. I do have an Amazon wish list, and if you're like Pat, you have a backlog, don't build any of that. When it's time to build a new kit, build something that I bought you. That is a thing you can do. You can go to my Amazon wish list and purchase something, and it mails to me, and it jumps the queue. I'm going to tell you about a few new things I added to this list. I've got some inexpensive Lego sets that I put on this list. We'll just redo that. I've got some kind of inexpensive high grades, some more expensive high grade model kits, some Lego stuff. I built one Polar Lights kit. Polar Lights is a company that you really need paint, but it can work. The Enterprise, the NX-01 Enterprise. This is the Enterprise from Star Trek Enterprise. There's a model kit of that. I built the Defiant before. I'd like to build an Enterprise. I put it in there. That's the it's the Enterprise 1 or the NX-01 Enterprise. But yeah, I've got that. I've got some more high grades, some master grades, all kinds of stuff in there. And if you buy something off the list, it comes to me. I build it ahead of time. You jump the queue. That is a way of me saying thank you for buying something. Might as well do there. The alternative to that is you could buy a gift card to USA Gundam Store. They don't have a wish list thing that works the same way, but they do sell gift cards, and they send it to you in an email. So you could get a gift card. You get the email with a code, and then you DM me on Twitter with that code. And USA Gundam Store is a small business, so you'd be supporting a small business and supporting me. So everybody wins. That's an alternative. I do have to, after this is done, before we get back to building, I will take a moment pause because I got to blow my nose, but I'm not going to do it yet. We're going to barrel through this, and then I'll do that. I have a Discord. That's free. If you don't want to support me financially, but you do want to hang out, and being in chat is supporting me. Joining my Discord, that is supporting me. I post build photos after every stream. People post things they're working on. It's a lovely group. You're more than welcome to come hang out in my Discord. What else do I have to talk? I'll plug in a couple videos. I want to plug a couple videos that I have put out. Pat Baer's Anime Club is every other Monday. I put a new episode out. It is me talking about anime that I'm psyched about, or things I'm disappointed in, things that are coming out, topics, themes are covered. In this latest one, I talk about shows that I was really late to the party on, and I wish that I had been watching since day one. I talk about 3 shows, 2 of which I really fell in love with during this pandemic, where I just had more time to go into my backlog and be like, you know what, fucking fine, I'll get into Haikyuu. Spoiler alert, I got into Haikyuu. And it fucking rules. But yeah, that was a video I did about that. I have another video. Baering the List is a ranking video, and I ranked model kits that I've actually built. The Best Hit Chronicle is a series that Bandai did. Did anybody say anime? Yes, Christian, I did say anime. We will get to that. But it is Baering the List is a video series that I do where I rank things. I ranked the Sega Saturn, the PlayStation, Sony PlayStation, and the Nissan Cup Noodle model kits that exist. And I felt the most qualified person on Tier Maker to rank those. So that's a video you can watch. We are going to talk about anime in a minute. I have a new YouTube channel that is where my VODs live. If you subscribe to my regular YouTube, also, please subscribe to Pat Baer VODs. And that's where VODs for my streams go. So any video game playing and any model kit building go to that. I need to separate that from my regular YouTube so that my regular YouTube doesn't have hours, 2-hour-long videos that 5 people watch, and then a 15-minute video that 20 people watch. It will theoretically make it so that my 20-minute videos reach a larger audience. This is things that I've come to understand. So that is that. Panels that I do will probably end up going on the main feed just because I want people to be there. But that'll be like every once in a while there's an hour-long video instead of most of these are hour-long videos that I don't monetize. So we just did that. And we'll talk about anime in a minute. But I'm going to take a pause here, a pause from the pause for the cause. I'm going to go to a black screen here for a second, a be right back screen, and I'm going to blow my nose. And so I'll be back in a second. All right, hold on. All right, and I'm back, and oh no, I didn't mute my microphone. Oh no, I thought I mute my microphone. I didn't. So this is the point where I like to formally apologize for blowing my nose on the mic. I thought I muted my mic, and I guess I didn't. That sucks, and I'm sorry. I hope that my microphone was far enough away that it wasn't very loud. I thought I muted it. Fuck, that's a nightmare. That is a nightmare. That's a nightmare scenario, folks. That is going to keep me up until Wednesday's stream is over, and then I won't think about what happened on Monday. But yeah, it wasn't loud. Well, good. Damn, I definitely thought I muted it, and I definitely 100% didn't. Fuck. Okay. Well, that's embarrassing. So sorry, everybody. You didn't hear anything. Well, thank you, Julie Cooley. I appreciate that. Thanks for the support. Now, we're going to get back to building, and I'm going to start off with the bat. It's kind of sounded like when you blow your hand to warm up after you've been stuck outside in the cold. Not to get too specific. That is very specific, but yes. I did manage to hopefully that worked out okay. Because I did take my headset off. Because it's good to do that now and again. So. Oh, that's embarrassing. All right, so let's talk about anime while I continue building this kit. And I'm going to start with the fact that, yes, specifically for Christian, I did not watch the episode of Jujutsu Kaisen that I didn't watch for Saturday's stream. I will watch double episodes for the next Saturday one, or I'll watch it for Thursday. But I didn't get to it because, well, one, last night was usually Sunday night is when I watch the Sunday shows that come out, and there are two that come out on Sunday, and I didn't watch them because I was doing my D&D campaign. And so today I was like, okay, well, today I've got to watch, by the grace of the gods, I've got to watch Maesetsu. I'm going to watch Sleepy Princess, and I'm gonna watch that episode didn't watch yet of Jujutsu Kaisen, and then I'd forgotten, and then was reminded. And I was happy I was reminded about this. That oh yeah, that time I got reincarnated as a slime, the 5th OAD, which is basically an OVA, only it's digital, so they call it OAD. Basically, they're being subtitled, they're being released. I love that. I'm always appreciative of that. Like, put your OVAs out. The 5th and final OAD came out, and I really like that show, so I was like, oh, I gotta watch that. So Jujutsu Kaisen takes a backseat. I haven't watched any of those OADs. Christian, I'll talk about it in detail. You watch if you're gonna watch them because you like slime. You want to watch OADs 3, 4, and 5. They are all full-length episodes. And they tell a story. They tell a little mini arc that takes place back when Rimuru was still teaching the kids before he stopped at the end of the season. So it's a small little story there. You get a little more backstory of some things happening. You get you flesh out some characters that we'll see some of them again, but not all of them. And it's totally worth checking out. I think it is a really fun episodes. The first two are not really worth watching. The very first one sucks, and it's very much like an OVA, like your traditional fan servicey kind of gross OVA. The second one is better, but it's not. I will say the second one has one very good gag. They all go to a lake, because there's something happening there. But they mostly go to a picnic at a lake, and of course, all of the ladies wear bathing suits, um, including Ranga, who is the big dire wolf, is also wearing a like a two piece, and that's like a fun visual gag. But it's kind of worthless as an episode. The first two OVAs or OADs are totally skippable. Um, but uh, but the 3, 4, and 5 are great, and I'll get to that when I get to it. Um, let's talk about By the Grace of the Gods. So this show has really gotten like chill. It had some action in it. It was kind of all over the place. Now I think it's getting settled a little bit into what I think it wants to do, which is be a like kind of a chill, like, all right, we're gonna explore a bunch of different things and like figure out what's best for our guy Ryoma, and let's have I'm gonna watch those then. Yeah. And like, okay, let's have an episode where like Ryoma's still working on his small business. Like in the last episode, he opened up his small business and business was booming, and his employees are already overwhelmed. So it's time for him to hire 2 more employees. And he hires a father-daughter duo named Faye and Li Ling, I should say, Li Ling. So they're foreigners to the land. They're broke, and Faye broke his leg because they're working in the mines, and Faye broke his leg. So now they're out of work, and immediately Ryoma's like, "Okay, well, were you going to tell me that you're assassins?" And they're like, "Oh, you could tell?" And he's like, "Yeah, I definitely could tell you're assassins." And they're like, "There's something about you that's different. You're not an assassin, though." And they're like, "We're former assassins. We want to give that life up." And he's like, "Okay, well, I'll hire you, but also I'll pay you a little bit better because you're also going to be our bodyguards." And then he purposely doesn't tell other people like, "Oh yeah, these guys are former assassins." He like forgets to mention that, or he chooses not to mention that. So they pick up the work pretty easy. It's fine. Also, the healing slimes fix Faye's leg, so that's fun. And they're happy to have a place to live. And also, the twins are a bit more animated than they were in previous episodes. The other employees, they're now kind of warming up, which is nice. But also, business is better than it's ever been. And business is booming. And it's time to hire more people. So, the end of the episode, we get Fina, Maria, and Jane. And they are young ladies. And that is all the information I could give you, because there's nothing much. They're like young ladies. And then also, they hire a cook named Selma, who is older and like used to own an inn and now is gonna work there or something, or work in an inn or something like that. And basically, it is very clear that his years of being like in nowhere salaryman, he really puts his employees, like he wants them to like feel respected, and like, well, they're like, well, it usually is just somebody's job to cook. One of the employees is like, yeah, but if the food's good, then you'll be happy, and like if you have a nice place to live, then you'll be happy and you'll work well. And it's like, oh yeah, it's very clear that this is a guy who still remembers hating his job, and he's trying to change that for people. And it's pretty fun. Uh, it's a very light episode. Like I said, it's definitely settled in. We might get a little more of the budding romance part, which we have not had in a while, but that might be coming, I think. We'll see. And yeah, it is. It's a chill show. It's my favorite of the. I definitely think it's my favorite of the 3 isekai this season. It's not hard because I'm Standing on a Million Lives isn't good, and Kuma Bear is like fine, but also totally fucked up its first, like totally fucked up their episodes. They made a terrible choice, and I can understand it being a big turnoff, but also it is a show called Kuma Bear, so you understand why I watch it, why I'm like super into it. All right, Do we got to build 2 of these? Yeah, we're building 2 of these. Okay. So we'll build this here. Uh, we're now building like our side skirt things, which are long and weird, but we'll do that. Um, okay. Maesetsu opening act. Yeah. The previous episode, they went to go see a show and the real comedy mecca in Japan in Osaka. They're still in Osaka, but they went to Namba Grand, and I talked about this how like that's a real place that like it's a basically a talent agency runs a comedy theater where people develop their talents and also they bring in big names, but they do shows all the time. It's basically like what if Second City, instead of just being like we're Second City Chicago, what if Second City was like we're Second City Chicago, and also if anyone here becomes popular, they're under contract with us, and we showcase only people that work for us, and then occasionally special guests that we know and like. Um, where it's a bit of a racket, but it's a whole thing. But they're an institution, um, and they're going to go see some shows that are run by the same people, but it's in a park. I had to look up this. This is a real place. Uh, it's called. So they're going to go see Yoshimoto's Sketch Comedy Theater um, in. Let's see. What's the name of the? I forgot. I didn't. Did I not write the park down? Yeah, I might have forgot the name of the park, but it's something like it's got a ridiculous name that is like translated and nonsense. Uh anyway, they get some food. Mafuya keeps slipping into a Osakan accent, which is very fun. Uh, it is a lighthearted thing. They meet a real person, a person who exists in real life, Matsura Keiko. Now, do I know it? Did I know that name before? No, but she is a real. This is an animated version of a real life person that exists, and we see a really thing that I think is great is so she's taking part in a sketch review, and we only see a funny moment in the sketch and then the very end of the sketch. We don't see uh we don't see like a lot of the sketch, and that fucking rules because just get the laughs. We just get a couple of moments that are funny and then we move on to the next thing. And I think that is so smart. It is such a smart choice to do. Um but yeah, I was totally happy to see that. And then they talk shop. Because the girls met her, she was like flyering for the set. And they're like, well, we're actually comedians. And she goes, well, stay after and let me know what you think. And so they like talk and hang out. Um, and they learn why she became a comedy actor. And she gives the girls like a lot to think about. And I've said this before, like there are episodes of this that I'm like, oh, this is just your usual like girls who are into a thing anime. And then there's times where they get specific. And it's still girls interested in a thing anime. But it's also about a thing that I love and think about constantly and miss very much in my life. So like them talking about like why like this girl Keiko, she was studying to be a ballerina and she was good, but she was never going to be like incredible. But because she lived in Osaka, she like went to these shows all the time and fell in love with it. And the idea of making people laugh like made her want to do it. And talks about how like, oh well, she has like she can dance ballet, so she like incorporated that into her act because like that's a special thing that she can do that other people can't do, which is like really smart and like a thing that we say is like experience a lot of things in comedy, bring those things to you. If you studied medicine, then you write that into your sketches or characters. Like that's a thing. So, and it lets her stand out, and it's just like really smart and really detailed in a way that I was like very pleasantly surprised to see in a show. Um, anyway, they get some food and souvenirs, and they run into that duo that they saw on the train. They keep running into this group. They're based in Tokyo, but they keep running into Spike, this comedy duo, who again are real people, and these are real people I knew. I knew the name of this group. I've seen a couple of their sketches online, or their duo because they're a duo group. they're a real group, and they get more advice from them about their style, which is more specific to them, and it's just gonna hang out. And there's a little thing of like, oh, it's so nice that there are other girls doing this, which is one of the first times we've ever like really understood in this universe, because like this universe exists where we've met like a lot of groups that are interested in doing this particular style, kind of out of date style of stand up comedy. So to have like them acknowledge that this is kind of rare, that there are like all these girls into it, it was pretty great. Um, and everyone's kind of fired up except for Fubuki. She definitely seems like hesitant and unsure of herself, and like maybe it's this has done the opposite. Maybe it's made her think we aren't taking comedy seriously. I'm not taking comedy seriously. Uh, Maybe she's wondering if this is right for her, which is like, uh-oh. I hope that's not the case, because that's drama. As a comedy nerd, this was definitely my favorite episode so far. I did enjoy the episode where they had to like perform for old people and like figure out how to tailor their act for their audience. I thought that was like really well done. But I will say that like this episode about like why they're comedians and why that what the love for it and finding that is fantastic. Also, there was very next to no element of uh, the younger sister, which is to me the weakest part. The younger sister and her friend like just deciding they're going to be comedians. Like it's just an element that I don't feel great. Like I don't feel works in the show. So it was happy not to see that, and also having like another comedian in there who is not in this Monza style was like a cool addition. All right, we are almost body complete. We got to put the backpack on, and then we got to build the weapons that go on it, or and the shield attachment, the like weird shield that's kind of like an extra hand thing that I don't know the name of because I haven't read this manga, but it's weird looking, and we'll put that on too. And then I'll also tell you about Sleepy Princess and the Demon Castle. This is also one of my favorite episodes of this show so far. I thought that this was done really well. The basic overall premise of this one, because usually there is like three small stories in this, and this is still three small stories, but it's an overarching plot. And the plot of this one is um, that the princess is just like not acting like she's a hostage, because she is. She was kidnapped. She's definitely like not acting like that, and it's kind of distressing to them because they're like, "Are we bad at this? Like, what is her deal? Why is she just like she's like leaving her cell, and like does she understand what things are what how it's supposed to go?" So at first they're like, "All right, we're just going to ignore her. She wants to make a water bed. We're not even going to like give her the time of day." Well, it turns out that's a bad plan because um one, she's still doing stuff and wreaking havoc, and two, uh, they're nice. They don't like being rude. They don't like ignoring her. And then also, when she finds out that they're ignoring her, she yawns a bit, and then it looks like she's got tears in her eyes, and they all feel terrible about that because they think that she's like legitimately upset, and they don't like that because they're nice demons. Uh, which is just sweet. It's just fun. Let's see. So she ends up making her waterbed, and they decide that plan failed, so they come up with a new plan, which is they're going to force her to do work. They're going to give her busy work to do, so that she understands that like this is like a thing. Like you got to do all this work. You can't just be goofing around. Uh, and she's like, okay, but it turns out that she used to have a lot of work to do when she was at home, and she had work to do every day. And if she didn't finish her work, she couldn't go to sleep until she finished her work. So she does like a month's worth of work, and like haphazardly and not great, but she does do it. Also, it turns out that work is like basically the equivalent of like homework you would have, the kids would have, like Japanese kids would have, like summer reading basically. And the demons also help because they feel bad that she's doing all this work. Because at the end of the day, they are just nice. They are just like extra nice demons. They did. To be fair, they did kidnap her. She has been kidnapped. So they are nice people who also kidnapped her, and we'll get into that and later. So eventually they're like, okay, this plan didn't work. Uh, hey, we just kidnapped. We just captured these bandits that tried to sneak into the forest to rob us. They're humans. Let's show her what a real cell looks like. Let's show her what it means to be afraid, because these bandits are afraid of us. So we can show her how she should be acting. And then she gets the idea that, like, oh, I should be acting a different way? Okay, I'll do that. But they don't like it because they feel bad because she's, like, pretending like she's scared of them. And they hate it. And it's cute. It's just cute. Um, and in the end, the princess doesn't learn anything, and nothing changes. In fact, they might even be a little nicer to her. And it ends with the princess wondering aloud, why is this even happening? Why are demons and humans mad at each other? Basically, because the whole thing is that, like, the only thing we know is the demon lord, the demon king, kidnapped the princess and is setting up battles for the hero to win so that he can defeat the hero. And we don't know why. We don't know why he needs to do that or what the goal is for that. He's just doing it. So it's like, oh yeah, she's right to wonder what the fuck is up. So we got our shield that also has another hand, which is a fun, weird thing. So we'll put that on there. And now we are body complete, and we can put on the weapons. Or we can build the weapons. One of the weapons, I'll just show you, doesn't require any building because this is a high grade. It's just a knife. This kit, it comes with a knife. It's just a knife. And, you know, the kit can hold a knife. So, it's got a knife. You know, that's a thing. Just got a knife. There's also a big sword and a gun. So let's build this gun. And then we'll build this sword. Knives are good. Yeah, it's got a knife. That's fun. Okay, so as I was talking about before, the time I got reincarnated as a slime, I would recommend, if you are interested, if you watch the show, the series, and it's probably the best isekai of this generation. It's a fantastic show. I really enjoy it. There's a little bit of like, okay, yes, the elves have big boobs in the dwarf city. Cool, cool, cool. But for the most part, I think it's really great and fun. But this is a 3-part story. The OADs 3, 4, and 5, they are subtitled. They are officially released. They're available on Crunchyroll, so you can just watch them if that's something you want to do. We assembled a gun. So that is pretty cool. Now we'll assemble this sword. Our buster sword here. Anyway, so the cliffhanger, because they've been released like every couple months. Basically, they've been released. If you buy the manga collections, you get a code to watch it. So they were released in Japan that way, and then the U.S. and other countries are just getting them as subtitled. So that's why they're OADs. Which is nice because that way you can legally watch them and you don't have to go through shenanigans. Anyway, this is before the end of season 1 when the students that Rimuru has been training. Basically, they're on some sort of school thing where they have to complete some outdoor activities, and they're doing that, which is good. It's good for them. Wait. This is 9. Okay, this goes on the outside. Got it. Couldn't understand what that was asking me to do. Now I know. Yeah, those OADs are on Crunchyroll. Yeah, so they're on Crunchyroll. The first 2 aren't great. The second one's better. Yes, the first one is really bad. The second one's okay. 3, 4, and 5 are good. So you can get those on Crunchyroll, and I do recommend it. 12 is this one. Anyway, Rimuru isn't with his kids, and turns out they are being fucking attacked. They are being attacked by a specter, which is like higher class than they've ever seen, and they get fucking taken out. These kids are strong. They had no problems with the bandits that were there. They're definitely having problems with this Spectre. Um, and he outclasses them. But luckily, instead of just killing all of them, the Spectre wants to mess with the teacher, this other teacher, not Rimuru. It's another teacher that has been tasked with hanging out with these kids, who she tried to teach them before, but they were just so like untamed and wild, and she couldn't do it. So she left them, which is when Rimuru took over, which we didn't know up until now. Anyway, she's not gonna like do whatever, but she's gonna fight. So she tries to summon something to help, and she happens to summon Noir, which we know as a character that in the past has some history with Shizu, the girl in the show that had the fire spirit inside of her, that was the original teacher of these kids and original teacher of Tish, and he's like, yeah, I owe her a debt. I'll help you out. And he's like a fucking high-ranking demon. Like, he brutally murders this dude, this Spectre, like completely destroys him. And she's just like, okay, whatever the deal was, take whatever. And he's like, okay, well, the deal is, like, don't tell anybody. We'll just tell everyone that the spirit of light that resides in Ken did it, because he's fine. He was probably going to step in. We're just like, yeah, we'll just say that this kid, the spirit did it. Ken did it in his sleep. And they're like, oh, okay. So that's it. I do believe that Noir... So I don't know if this is canon. I do believe that Noir is important later, and he was set up to be important. So we got this big-ass sword here. And does it combine again to be smaller? Yes, you can make it smaller. You can do that. And then it becomes bigger. And also, it can hide, because there are parts to put it on the back, so we'll do that. Also, Rimuru heals. He's been in competition with this other teacher named Jeff. Jeff's sister lives on the property they're at. She's been sick for a really long time, and he makes a huge medical discovery that greater healing potions, sometimes people use them on illnesses, and those people die. So it turns out he figures out why. You have to, like, remove the part that's ill and then heal that and then put it back in, and everyone's going to be okay, which is cool. Yeah, so that works out good, and that's the end of this. I don't know if it's canon, but it might as well be anime canon, because like it kind of fills in the backstory of some of these smaller characters who are cool. So that was nice, and like I said, it was pleasant to watch. I enjoy these little side stories. So that's it basically. And that's also it for this kit. We'll take a photo of this, but this is body complete here. We got our knife, we got our gun, we got our big sword that can become a bigger sword, which is just nonsense. But yeah, we'll make this sword even bigger here. And we can take a Fioto. Oh yeah, and this folds out like this to make it a big old sword. This sword is bigger than this dude, which is very Iron-Blooded Orphans. But I'm going to take a photo of this, and we won't start our next kit, but I'll start talking about the next kit, because that we'll do on Thursday, because it's going to be pretty fast build, I think. So we'll start on Thursday. But I do want to take a photo of this right now. That's a really big sword. You're not wrong, Christian. It's a very big sword. But yeah, we take a photo of this. It's a really big sword. Let me do this because that way the knife is noticeable. Bigger swords are never nonsense. All right, Lashbrook. Okay, but it is pretty nonsensical. I'm gonna cough here. So the next kit we're going to be working on is the entry grade. And so I'll show that off. Like I said, I'm not going to start it today, and we can get prep for it. But that'll be Thursday's build, Thursday 9 p.m. Eastern. We will start that. But I do want to kind of like promote that because it's the first ever entry grade. So there's a lot to think about with it. But yeah, look how big this thing is. Like, this is nonsense. It's very long. A very long sword. But you can also, yeah, scrunch it down to make it more of a blunt weapon. Anyway, I'm going to get up here, but I'm not going to turn. And this time, I'm on purpose not muting my mic so I can talk to you as I go and get the next thing I need to get. And then I'll come back to my chair. I didn't have to go far to get it, but here is the RX-782. Is going to be the next build we do. It is the entry grade. This is a brand new thing. No stickers required. So no stickers. You build from the top. We're going to start with the head. Then we'll do the body. Then we'll do the arms. We'll do the waist and the legs. So we're starting at the top, working our way down. They do the feet first, which I don't love, but whatever. And then we'll connect it all together. We will assemble the weapons. And yeah, no stickers. So all the details of this are going to be pieces that we will put together. And for the most part, everything is kind of like, you're still jumping around some, but they're trying to minimize how much you jump around. So like most of the head is all A parts and B parts. And there's a lot of explanations. You can see it's in, well, you can't see, but it's in 3 languages here with instructions. And this is you're supposed to be your first model kit. So came out this year. As I said, the entry grade line, they're starting like no glue, like, you know, like it seems to be organized pretty well here. Of like, here's A, here's, you know, A2, here's A3 and A4. Here is B1 and B2. And yeah, it seems like pretty straightforward about like where the pieces are, how to find them. B3 and B4, and then that's it. A and B is pretty much all you got. And yeah, it is. I don't believe it comes with beams, which is weird. It comes with the saber parts, but I don't think it comes with beam pieces, which I think is a little odd, but whatever. You know, it does come with the gun and the shield. And as I said, no stickers. Does not include stickers. It really goes in detail about how to put these pieces together. It is a new thing. There is some color. It's like also like, hey, a Gundam kit that explains what is Gundam and what is Gunpla. Like, explanations of what's going on. An introduction to how to put it together. Oh, also I should mention, this is designed so you don't use clippers, or you can do it without clippers. The parts can be popped out without any tools such as nippers. So it is meant to you be able to work them in and out and get them. So no stickers, none of that. Like, we'll pull the first piece out just to kind of play around with it. And of course I'll be talking about this on Thursday as well. But so let's say like A1-1. That's the very top of this piece that's going to go in there, right? So theoretically, yep, I can just snap this off, and there's no clipping required. There doesn't seem to be any extra that needs to come off. There's no nubbins to pop off. It just comes right out. That's very cool. So yeah, lots of instructions here. Lots of like I said, lots of English. So, you know, giving you instructions of like, hey, slowly remove, fit them together tightly, like, hey, this is how it goes. You want to snap this in. This should be snug. Like, this is 100% if people were like, hey, I want to build a Gundam. I have no experience doing that. This is exactly what I would tell them to get. Be like, hey, try to track down an entry Gundam, the entry grade Gundam. You know, like I always recommend starting with high grades. This feels like the kit to start with. And then if it's so easy and you're like, oh, that was nothing, then you can move on to high grades or master grades even. But This is rad. This is like very rad, and I'm super into it. I am going to try to assemble this without using nippers. I'm going to try to do it the way they say you can. So I will attempt to do this with completely toolless builds, just rocking the pieces, using my fingers. There's the only part that I think I feel like a little nervous about is like um, part of the head here, like getting this out right here, this piece. Like I feel a little bit weird about rocking that out, but I'll try to snap that or pop that there. But I am going to try to do this as a toolless build because I'm excited about it. Uh, yeah, I think that's about all I have to say about this. This is the next thing. I'll be starting on Thursday. As I mentioned, my next build stream is this Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. But my next Twitch stream, my bonus stream, is on Wednesday. I'm going to Twitch Sings. We're going to go out with a bang. It is shutting down at the beginning of next month. So this will be my last time visiting Twitch Sings. It'll be all viewer requests in chat. You'll be able to just say like, "Hey, you should sing this," and I will go and sing it. I will have a few songs that I want to sing, and I might even practice a few. I will not be doing any duets. I could record duets if you want me to leave a duet, but I will not be doing any duets with myself because even though I think that's great technology, those clips get flagged, and I do not want that. I'm going to be recording locally and immediately deleting that VOD because I do not want any content ID strikes on my channel. I have 0 right now on Twitch, and I'd like to keep it that way. So that's coming up on Wednesday. Consider doing that. Thanks so much for hanging out. Are we going to go raid? Of course we're going to go raid. So hang out here for a minute as I go and figure out who we're going to go raid. We're going to go share the love with somebody out there, and I recommend you hang out with me as we go and find someone to go and share the love with. Another another streamer, hopefully somebody on the West Coast that we're playing for a bit. So we'll go and do that. Well, she gave us love last night. We gotta get, or on Monday, or no, Saturday. What do I say? On Saturday, she gave us love. We gotta go give Xandra love. Thank you very much, Tony. Happy that you were here. Thanks so much. We're gonna go and raid Xandra, who raided us on Saturday, giving us just such big numbers for our streams. And she's rad. Also, Xandra rules. Xandra did all our emotes, so of course we're gonna go give her a raid. I'm just gonna go and make sure that she's still up and working. Yeah. She's playing Super Mario 3D World, and that rules, and that's what we're going to go raid. So thanks so much for hanging out. Hope to see you on another stream Wednesday for some Twitch Sings. Thursday, if you want to see me work on the entry grade. Thanks so much for being here. Have a great night. Good night. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. I actually have to click the raid thing, and then we got to get ready for that. So that's me goofing. But feel free to come on the raid. If you don't want to come on the raid, you don't have to, but I would love it if you could. And I'll see you in the next Build with Baer. And now we're leaving. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.